January 2017. Skiing season in the Alpines is at its peak, and off Brazil, there are improbable analogies suggesting Yann Elies is craving for the mountains. Today is giant slalom. Slalom between heavy rains. In the first round, I pretended to be Pintura and succeeded to slalom between the heavy rain. And then, at some point, I unfortunately had to go lay down. Then I woke up in heavy rains, where for an hour I had to stop on leeward. So the second round won't be as good. But hey. As surprising as Yann Elies' dreams of snow, Alex Thompson as director of a wildlife documentary.
This is my bird friend who is the flying fish hunter. Here he goes, he's going to dive down. He's going to dive down to a flying fish. No, he's not. So there he goes. He's waiting for the boat to disturb the flying fish, and then when they appear, he then dives, swoops on them, follows them along the surface, and try and grabs them. Sometimes he goes underwater to get them.
At midday's ranking, it's another kind of bird, white and blue this one, that the Brit has watched taking off. Armel Leclerc's Banque Populaire seemed to have reached the end of the tunnel, pointing at more than 200 miles in front of Hugo Boss. And then in the Pacific, end of calm seas and beautiful sunshine for Fabrice Amedeo, who picked up some speed and who is impatiently waiting for the week's end. After 3 super tiresome days in the high-pressure zone, taking off, stopping, we're finally off again, still in the high pressure, to the Cape Horn's assault. That's pretty crazy. We'll be crossing the Cape Horn Sunday by midday or in the evening. This is getting to be very exciting.
Ça commence à devenir très très excitant.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another edition of Vendee Globe Live. We're here in Paris, live at Vendee Globe HQ. It's Wednesday the 11th of January, the 67th day on the water just beginning. Well, the Vendee Globe finish line is less than 2,500 miles away for our leaders Armel Leclerc and Alex Thompson. Armel doubling his lead overnight to 200 miles, latest ETA for those two, Thursday, January the 19th. Meanwhile, French skipper Eric Bellion set to become the 9th skipper to round Cape Horn today, followed closely by Conrad Coleman. Hopefully we'll be talking to Conrad in just a bit. Well, I'm lucky to say that today, joining me in the studio, we have Paul Meilhat, French skipper of SMA, sadly forced to retire from racing on December the 24th. Paul, thanks very much for coming in.
Thank you.
And joining us on the line from my hometown in the UK, Lymington, it's Andrew Cape, Australian navigator extraordinaire, 6-time Volvo Ocean Race navigator and America's Cup winner. Capey, hello to you.
Good morning. How was it?
Yeah, good. Well, anyway, it's all kicking off on the water. Obviously, things going incredibly well for Alex Thompson and Armel Leclerc. Battle lines being drawn on social media as well. Ben Ainsley, the skipper of Ben Ainsley Racing, the UK challenger for the America's Cup, tweeting yesterday, after 2,000 miles at sea, Alex is in the race for his life to win the Vendee Globe. #GoAlex. Promptly followed by Banque Populaire, Armel's team, tweeting, "This is the moment to encourage Armel in this difficult time. #Allez Armel, we are all with you." So while things are hotting up on the racecourse and on social media, it's getting a little bit chilly for Nandor Far. He's 600 miles northeast of Cape Horn, and he sent us back these pictures of snow and ice on the deck of Spirit of Hungary. So, yes, things are a little bit colder down where Nandor is. Let's begin the day, really, by having a look at what the racecourse is looking like. This is our 3D animation for today. We're going to start by looking at the 2 skippers approaching Cape Horn today, Eric Bellion and Conrad Coleman. About an hour ago, Eric was just 50 miles from Cape Horn, doing 15 knots. We expect him to round in just a couple of hours. Conrad about 75 miles behind there. Nandor Far, he's 600 miles ahead of Bellion as the crow flies, holding on to 8th place. There's Louis Burton, some 1,500 miles ahead of Nandor, but he's trailing Lecam and Elies by 1,200 miles. Well, as we mentioned, John Le Cam and Yann Elies continuing their battle. They're practically side by side. Well, Jean-Pierre Dick, he remains 300 miles northwest of them with 450 miles for him to go to the equator. There's Jeremy Bayou in third. He's got a jump of around 500 miles on Jean-Pierre Dick in third place today. Well, onto our leaders, Armel Leclerc and Alex Thompson, around 209 miles splitting them today as they charge north in a bit better breeze. Now, looking back into the Pacific, we're closely bunched. We have Arnaud Boissier in 11th, Fabrice Amadeo, Alan Roura and Rich Wilson in 14th. The gap between them just 200 miles. Looking back, Didac Costa in 15th place there. He's keeping a 100-mile lead over Roman Atanasio. In 16th place, they're around 100 miles north of the ice limit today. Back into 17th, Peter Harima being chased down by Sebastien Destmarau. That deficit reduced to 800 miles today. Well, we start by Paul. What's the latest with SMA? Obviously forced to retire with keel damage. What's the latest situation?
Yes, just after the arrival, the fantastic arrival in Tahiti, and it was great to have a welcoming like that. But we try to analyze the boat, and we decide maybe 4 or 5 days after my arrival to take a ship to bring back the boat, because the ram and all the stuff around is not. It's not possible to continue, even not in the race. So we put the boat in a ship yesterday, and it's gonna take maybe 2 months to bring back in France, in Le Havre, in middle of March. So I'm back.
Well, I mean, it's good to see you back safely. Just remind everyone watching what the actual problem was on board SMA.
It's the ram of the keel ram, just it's a big crack in the middle of the ram, so all the oil like a spray on all the boat inside, so it was a big mess inside. And after my keel was not fixed, so I tried to fix it with the safety system. It works to go to Tahiti, but not more. So the boat is in good condition. Sails, mast, and all the rest, but it's not possible to sail a few miles.
Yeah. How difficult was it for you to make that decision to retire from the Vendee Globe? Obviously, this has been a project you've been working on for many years now. How did you feel when you had to take that decision?
Yes, it's hard because it's 2 years of training, and after I did like 60% of maybe more of the race, and it was good. I take some pleasure, and I was in good position. I was in third position at the moment of the accident. But you know, when the ram just was destroyed, my first idea and my first priority was to protect the boat and protect me. So it's not to cancel the race. Was the second option, and so. The hard moment is now, you know, because you come back in France and you see all the other guy, and so it's a hard moment for me. But I have good, you know, it's a good remember for me, and all the start and all the race was good moment, and I hope to be at the start in 4 years. I hope, but it's not done. But and now I turn the page, and I'm focused on the next, and the next for SMA is in the Jacques Vabre at the end of the year. So that's my project. Fantastic. Well, great to hear it. But you were mentioning that when you took that decision to withdraw, there were a couple of options for you. One was perhaps to go to New Zealand. You chose in the end to go to Tahiti. You mentioned earlier. Tell me about that welcome that you got in Tahiti. Were you expecting it, or? Yeah, but it was strange, you know, because when I withdrew the race, I was in the Nemo point, and it's a far point of all the shore. So I have many options. New Zealand was the first, because it was for me quicker, maybe easier, and you know, I hope to continue, not the race because I was out of the race, but maybe to continue the round the world. And but the problem to go to New Zealand was it was 1 week or more, maybe 10-day upwind in really heavy conditions. So it was Chilean coast was another option, but it was the same. I was still in the bad weather, so Tahiti was good for that. And it's a part of French, so of France, and so. Yes, we had a really incredible welcoming, but yeah, it's good to have smile, and when you have a bad story like that, to have people, just to meet people, to speak with people, and yes, it was good.
And have you had a similar reception coming back to France? You know, your fellow countrymen, have they supported you as well?
No, because I didn't organize that. we because when I come back, it was a few days ago, and 2 days ago, my first priority was to see my family, and it was not the same. But it's not finished, you know. I have a meeting in SMA, and to meet a lot of people. But yeah, it's not the same because now here all people are speaking about the race, you know, and so for me it's a bit sad, but I hope to enjoy a bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Paul, we'll be hearing a bit more from you in a minute. This morning we spoke to Swiss skipper Alain Rohrer on La Fabrique. Here's what Alain had to tell us. He's coming up to Cape Horn. Here's what he had to say.
Well, we've got actually a nice wind that came back, so that's quite cool. It's quite really downwind, so really hard to do some speed for the moment. But normally tomorrow evening we will get, well, no, not tomorrow evening, this evening, sorry, we will get more wind, like up to 30 knots. Then few dives to get to the Cape Horn, with quite a lot of wind to pass the Cape Horn, so try to get a lot of rest for the moment before that big weather is coming. It was really funny. I mean, I really like wind. We spent a few long minutes on the VHF, quite talking like time, you know, so that was really cool. And actually, we had to change our course to don't kind of get collision because it was really foggy at night. And we really want to keep safe, so we put each 2 degrees out, and yeah, now I mean we are away again, and I'm pretty happy actually that it's behind for the moment. And yeah, I mean it's really cool to be that close after 6 days or something like this. It's pretty cool. Well, my boat is okay. I mean it's in pretty good condition. I feel pretty safe on that boat. I mean, even if it's an old one and I'm a bit slower than the others, but I mean, it's a great boat, and I'm pretty proud of what I'm doing with it because I'm playing with the others that's a bit newer generation compared to mine. So yeah, I mean, I'm really happy. Now the plan is really to finish this Vendee and that's it, actually. That will be the best of that race. I mean, I need to finish it now.
Well, great to hear Alain Rohrer sounding so positive. Alain, just 23 years old, the youngest skipper in the Vendee Globe fleet. Well, I think now we can go to the UK and say, Andrew Cape, what do you make of the weather situation at the moment? No better person to ask than you, really, at the moment to just analyse that weather situation for us. What do you make of things? It's looking pretty complicated for those two front runners now.
Well, that's true, but the weather never does what you want it to do, and I'd say for mid-January, it's probably a pretty typical situation being complicated. Unfortunately, you know, there's lows and all sorts of things in the middle of the North Atlantic, which you don't usually have, but it's just today it's sort of setting itself up where there's all high sort of moving into place, even though it's going to move straight away again. It's setting up okay today and the next day or two. The doldrums have moved south a bit and closed and shrunk, so that the path things through there, crossings through there, will be a lot better next day or two. The leaders in the next 48 hours, you know, as the high moves away again, they'll have to sort of play the ridge and just keep in the best possible wind.
And with obviously there's a 200-mile gap between Armel and Alex at the moment. You might think that some people might think that 200 miles is a lot, but do you think that there's a possibility that chances might arise for Alex within the last sort of 2,500 miles to the finish line?
Of course, as long as they're afloat, there's always chances. 200 miles, I would say at this stage in the race, and looking at the next week's weather, looks like a nice lead. I'd say anything over 100 miles, I'd always be happy with. But saying that anything can happen, especially towards the end, where it's very uncertain. So yeah, could be right down to the wire, this one.
Yeah, KP, obviously you sailed in the double-handed Barcelona World Race in 2007 with Alex. I guess you probably know him pretty well because of that. What's he like? What's he like as a person? We obviously see the videos that he sends back from on board, but you've been there with him, you know, when he's been up against it out at sea. What's his character like? What will he be like at the moment on board as coming into the finish?
He is what you see. He's a very solid guy. He's a great guy all around. Very, very good sailor, and that proves itself, shows itself. He's right up for the fight, and actually I'd be worried if he was close behind me, because he's never going to give up, that's for sure. And yeah, very good chance to victory for him.
He's also done an incredible job, hasn't he, of sticking with Armel, despite the fact that he's one foil down. I mean, some people might have thought that would have been the end to his race, or certainly the end to his chances of winning, but he's done a great job of doing it. Is that a sign that these foils perhaps only work in certain conditions, or is that testament to Alex's sailing ability?
It's a bit of both. I mean, it does show to me that maybe they're not as important as people think, but both these boats are sort of similar generations and styles. Obviously, Hugo Boss is newer and a bit more refined, but he's doing a great job. And luckily, obviously, this bit up through the Atlantics is mainly on starboard tack, so that's helped him a bit. But it'd be interesting to see what happens when they have to sort of tack or jibe to get up towards the finish.
Well, KP, we'll come back to you in a bit later on. Talking of Alex Thomson, Alex obviously focused very hard on catching Armel, but he did take a little bit of time to film some of the wildlife that he's enjoying as he sails just north of the equator. He sent us this video. Check this out.
Hello everyone, well this is my my bird friend who is the flying fish hunter. Here he goes, he's going to dive down. He's going to dive down to a flying fish. No, he's not. So there he goes. He's waiting for the boat to disturb the flying fish, and then when they appear, he then dives, swoops on them, follows them along the surface, and try and grabs them. Sometimes he goes underwater to get them. If anybody knows what kind of bird it is, please tell me. Come back. Over here, mate. They're over here. Come on, back you come. There he is. Come on, see if you haven't caught one yet. Come on. You come close. There he is. Wait for it. And he dive. What a meow. Oh, nearly. Up again. There he goes. Very impressive. Entertaining stuff. Go on, son. Go on. Like a bird of prey. Ooh.
Well, compelling stuff there from Alex Thomson, and the Vendee Globe's Twitter following have already informed us that those birds are actually called frigate birds. So there you go, we'll pass the message on to Alex. Paul, what do you make of the situation going on at the front of the fleet? Obviously, you'd have liked to have been there yourself, and you were pretty close to it. What do you make of it now?
I think it's a bit 200 miles. Is not a lot, but it's, you know, it's big
enough.
difference. And so it's interesting because I think maybe the 2 or 3 last days will be complicated on the forecast. So maybe for Alex, gonna take maybe an opportunity. But you know, it's sad that the technical problems can appear. So it's not finished already. But I hope the weather situation will be interesting, and maybe a little end battle will be great for all.
Is it a stupid question to ask you who you're supporting?
No, you know.
Yes, I think is the answer.
No, but I think Armel did a great race, and so he's in the lead, and I think it's the winner for me. But you know, the race is a race, and the winner is always the best. So if Alex wins, Alex will be the best.
Of course. Obviously, you guys, all of you sailors, spend a lot of time together training and preparing for the start of the Vendee Globe. So there will be a lot of guys out there that you're very close with. Aside from those front two, who would you like to see, do well?
Jeremy was with me, so
Yeah.
I'm happy to see Jeremy gonna take the third place. But for all the guys, I don't have a preference. I like I like them all, and I want to be in front of all of them if I can. But no, in a dream, all the skippers in the finish line will be great, but it's not possible, And when you take the start of the Vendee Globe, you know that it's 0.5% of chance. So it's part of the game, and that's it.
Absolutely. Well, let's take a quick look at what the weather situation is for our Vendee Globe fleet today. We'll start off, obviously, by looking at those front runners in the Atlantic. Decent breeze, as I mentioned, for Leclerc and Thompson. They're just passing to the east of that big depression, 20 to 25 knots from the northeast today. Perfect foiling conditions. Will Alex be able to catch up? Let's see. Jeremy Bayou barely feeling the effects of the doldrums, really. Today, he's sailing around about 10 knots. Didn't slow hugely overnight. Jean-Pierre Dick can expect much of the same. Steady trade wind sailing for Jean Le Cam and Yann Elies. And as we mentioned yesterday, Louis Burton heading northeast. He's likely to tack on top of that anticyclone. Now, tomorrow, let's just have a quick look at what it's looking like. Tomorrow, there we can see the wind starting to become light for the leaders, down to around 5 or 10 knots. Down in the bottom of the screen, that green circle there, that is where we expect Louis Burton to tack and start heading north. Looking at the boats further back then in the Pacific, Nandor Far, great conditions, 25 to 30 knots from the west, fast, but as we saw earlier, very cold. Eric Bellion, Conrad Coleman, just approaching Cape Horn, great conditions for them, 25 knots from the southwest. And foursome behind them in Westerlies, 15 to 20 knots. Things looking a bit more volatile, though, for Didac Costa and Roman Atanasio. Race direction informed me today that low pressure could bring up to 50 knots of breeze. Peter Harima and Sebastien Destmarau in nice northwesterlies of 20 knots today. Well, KP, obviously no full Australians in the fleet, but Sebastien Destmarau is half Australian. Does he have your support?
I don't know which half, but he does. Yeah, good on him. It's a good race for anyone to do, and you've got to admire anyone who wants to take it on.
Well, he's certainly keeping his spirits high as they go round. KP, obviously you've got many Volvo Ocean races under your belt, Barcelona World races. Might we see you in the Vendee Globe one day?
It's something I always keep in the back of my mind, but it obviously takes a huge commitment. I might be getting a bit too old for it as well, but there's a few people I noticed in the fleet this year that have might be older, so maybe one day. I never rule it out.
And do you think that we might see foiling boats make an appearance in the Volvo Ocean race in the years to come?
Oof, that I have no idea. I mean, foiling boats or foiling monohulls, I should say, are starting to work out. They have to be light displacement. It's not going to work on every monohull, but it will happen, and yeah, it will happen in the future sometime. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. KP, finally, who's your money on? If you had to put a bet on, who's your money on?
Oh, I'd have to say it's on Armel just because of where he is and how he's been going. But it is the Vendee Globe, and there's a lot of risk factors involved. But I think right now he's looking pretty good.
Well, there you go. KP backing Armel. Paul, presumably backing Armel as well. He's got your money.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a yes. Well, listen, Paul, thanks very much for coming in to talk to us today. We really appreciate it. And thanks very much to Andrew Cape for dialing in from the UK as well. KP, thanks very much. Cheers. Unfortunately, we couldn't get hold of Conrad Coleman today. We'll try and get him tomorrow after he's gone round Cape Horn. Tomorrow we'll be speaking to Vendee Globe competitor from 2008, Brian Thompson. I'm going to leave you with this video from Eric Bellion as he approaches Cape Horn. Till tomorrow, goodbye.
How's it going? yeah, you're going at full speed at the moment, yeah. Strong 25, 30 knots westerly, you know, pushing us, lightning speed. Yeah. Yeah, well, I made a mistake last night. Yeah, going so far south to avoid Auckland Island. Yeah, should have jibed after only 2 hours instead of 6, you know. Well, I have to say, you know, I didn't anticipate the magnitude of what's coming behind us. Yeah, it's a big one. So for now, I'm forced to push a bit on the boat, you know. Yeah, to go quite a high angle and go north. Try to hide, yeah. Yeah. Well, about 48 hours, we'll be facing about 50 to, you know, about 50 knots. 7 meters tall wave, you know. A biggie. Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah, well, I'm hoping we'll have enough time to go and hide, you know, at but like 49 to 50 south. Should be enough to avoid the thick of it. We'll see, you know. It's a big one, yeah. Yeah, we'll keep our fingers crossed. Yes, all of them. All of them. Yeah. All right. Yeah, cheers. Thanks for the call. Cheers. Bye.